What's up, guys? On today's video, we,
the Indian,
and some guy,
gonna teach you how to make mead.
Exactly. There's a lot of different ways some people do it, but we're going to show you our way. We're going to make a 5-gallon jug, and this is what you're going to need. Alright guys, first off, you're going to need 15 pounds of the finest honey you can find, and then you are going to need 5 gallons of distilled water, and then we're going to need a big old soup pot and a nice little whisk. That is going to be accompanied by some sterilization stuff. We are going to go with Star San. All it is a sterilization thing to clean out your pot and all that stuff. And for the actual mead itself, we are going to put it in this big 5-gallon glass jug. And on top of that jug, we're going to put this cork, bam, and this bubbler. Bladang. And that's going to have your burps from your yeast go through that sumbitch right there. Speaking of yeast, we are going to go with the cider yeast, which is going to give it a sweeter flavor. If you prefer dry wines, you can go with that too. But this is how we're going to do it, so let's go ahead and throw stuff together and get started. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and start sterilizing everything. We're going to use half an ounce of this stuff, and we're going to throw it in some water. I think you can use 1 ounce per 5 gallons. So we're going to use about 2.5 gallons. We're going to sterilize this whisk, this pot, this cork, and the bubbler. So you're going to want to sterilize everything that's going to come in contact with the product, because if not, you can get a little bit of mold in there and it can distort the flavor and make it taste like farts, pretty much. So let's go ahead and get that done. Not very much, but that's all it needs. We're just going to go ahead and fill this up with some regular sink water. Since it's being sterilized anyways, we don't have to use our distilled water that we're going to be using for the product. But yeah, just fill about a gallon or two inside there, and you're going to mix it all up. Make it all nice like in there. And I just like to pick it up and shake that sumbitch around. And this stuff is sterile, so if you do have a little bit of residue, like bubbles and stuff left in here, it's going to be fine. It's not going to be a big deal. But yeah, now that everything's sterile, we're going to go ahead and show you the next step.
Alright, so those of you who don't know what mead is, it's a honey-based wine. We will be using honey for our sugar content for the fermentation. So we'll start out by adding our honey into the big old pot. Once you got all 15 pounds in, we're going to start adding our water. What we like to do is add it in and bring up the pot up to a warm temperature enough to soften up the honey and be able to mix it up to make a pretty good blend, because it's a lot easier to heat it up and mix it up, pour it into our carboy so that we don't have as much of a struggle trying to mix it up later on once it's inside. So here we are heating it up.
Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and show you. You just start dumping this stuff right into your big jug. Any way you can get it in there. Probably easier if you tilt it a little bit. But yeah, just go ahead and add a couple gallons at a time. Probably like 2, maybe 3 gallons before you add the honey and the sugar. But we're going to show you how to get the honey in there right now. So we'll see you in a second.
So since we're smart, we like to use old things to do new things. So we're going to recycle one of our water jugs with a pair of scissors. And we are now creating a makeshift funnel. Voila! So now that the honey is all mixed in nice and well with the water, we're going to add it in, and here we go.
Let's hope I don't miss.
That sweet, sweet honey. No matter how bad the temptation, do not lick your fingers to get that sweet, sweet honey off, no matter how much of fry bread it might remind you of for sanitation reasons. So the process of making alcohol is yeast eating sugar and pooping out alcohol. So the whole point of the honey is to be the food source for your yeast to eat.
And we're gonna just go ahead and top the rest of this motherfucker off with this thing. Hope I don't spill too much. And you're not gonna want to go all the way to the top of this. You want to leave room for bubbling, because your yeast is gonna be eating the honey and farting out farts.
AKA carbon dioxide.
Yeah, farts, like I said. But it looks like, even with using all this, we got plenty of room in there. So you're going to want to shake it up, and then we're going to go ahead and add the cork and the label, and we're going to be good.
So once you put on a label with your ingredients and date, we like to label it with what we use so we can know what type of finished product we're going to get, as well as a date so that we can know when it's done fermenting. We will take our airlock and put it into the cork. Make sure you do that first, because if not, you'll end up like some other guy and breaking your airlock. So you put your cork in your airlock first, making sure you got proper fluid in there so whenever the gas is released, no other bacteria can get inside. And then we just jam that bad boy in, and we're good to go.
And just a quick side note, I want to let you know, make sure to check your airlocks about once a week or so, because they can lose fluid with evaporation and all that stuff, and you don't want any contaminants in there from loss of liquid in there. And some people advise to use clear alcohols and stuff, stuff like that, just in case the water does seep back into it. It doesn't destroy the flavor or whatever of your product. But
so now that you got everything finished up, we will let it sit for 6 to 8 weeks. It's recommended about 2 months for fermentation to follow through with its whole life cycle. And then after that, we will open it back up and add a neutralizer. The neutralizer is going to stop the yeast from starting its next life cycle so that it doesn't continue to ferment, and you'll eventually have product that tastes like bread.
And a little side note, if you want to change the flavors and stuff, you can continue to let it ferment for up to a year. I believe it'll ferment and all that stuff, and it'll change from right now all the way up until then. So if you want to sample different lives, you can try it that way to find your favorite age of your particular mead. But this is what we got for you guys today. So if you want to go and make your own mead, you can. But if not, you don't have to listen to us, because we are
just an Indian,
some guy.